that we know nothing. Like that's the first one that resonated with me a lot. Resonated a lot. The first is like we don't know shit at all. We don't know anything, right? And what I mean by that is like the universe, it's like just the fundamentals. Even the fundamentals, they will all remain a hypothesis in our lifetimes, right? They will always remain a hypothesis. What I mean by that is like you can do like whatever. I mean, you can think that in our lifetimes we might just stumble upon, the fundamentals of life, like why are we here, right? You can hope so, but I really don't think so. We will find out. Maybe we will, but I wouldn't like to, set myself up for disappointment. So, point being, is that like you don't know anything. No one knows anything, right? You can have like hundreds of theories on why the universe started, why it's here, and whatnot. You can have hundreds of theories, but you won't ever reach the truth, right? Because I don't know. Maybe like this is the age of intelligence, so I really can't say anything. But you cannot even begin to fathom anything, right? And this is like something that I've like realized so long ago, and it just came back to me. So yeah, this is like is the first thing that like even on the earth we don't know what species lie on the beds of the oceans. Like the deepest oceans, we can't get to them. We can't get there. We can't um know what species lie down there, how they function and all. We can start to hypothesize, but still we don't know exactly how and why. I mean, why we know, but still, on a fundamental level, the universe, we don't know uh fucking we don't know anything, right? That is the basis of the first thing that we're gonna talk about, right? And another point is like, we don't, and a lot of many things, you like start to realize that you derive from the assumption that you know everything, like many things, right? Like when you go into philosophy, um, you, whenever you read a philosophy, you don't go with the assumption, you know, that you don't know anything about this world at all. And this philosophy won't ever fix anything. It won't ever give you answers, like actual answers to anything. You can help it create a meaning for you, but it will not be a universal truth. It will never be, right? So you just basically cannot ever know the truth, right? And like that's just gonna help you realize, like you can help you just realize and build any sort of philosophy, any sort of way of living you want, because there is no truth, there is no meaning. I mean, meaning is a different part, but there is no truth to life. There is no truth that we have found out about our own existence, this universe's existence, this person you see here, his existence, right? You cannot begin to fathom it, right? And that is just something that every human should know, like every human should know, always be aware of. I don't know always, but yeah, it should be something that everyone has on their minds. If you don't know anything, And like only then can you begin to realize how miraculous life is, you know? Because you can start to look at things objectively, like probability wise, right? So, like, okay, you don't know any why or how the universe started. You don't know why the Big Bang happened. You don't know why or how the, you know, how it all came to this. How did how did the universe play out in such a way that I get to exist, you know? I get to experience this world. I get to experience reality. You know, that is like such an epiphany, you know? Like you just you happen to be here, but okay, let's try not to delve to conclusions. Let's first see what is here, see what is present. And what is present is this. What is present is me. What is present is what is happening right now. With this my arm, with my environment, the fan with the wind, with my body, my temperature, with my, you know, the cubicle I'm in, this cube I find myself in, which is very irregular. Cubes don't exist in nature, you know. But point being, once you detach from the idea of the knowledge of why we are here, why and how anything ever has happened, you can like start to really see things. You can start to feel real. You can start to feel in general. I don't know. Maybe blabbering. Maybe I'm bluffing, but you can just like start to be grateful, kind of, kind of grateful. Not grateful as in, you know, I have all this, but grateful as in everything happened in the universe. Everything from the start, 8 billion years ago, maybe 11 billion years ago. It all started, and somehow down the line, we get to exist. The Earth is like what 1 billion years old, and somehow, somehow, like in the whole time frame of the universe, we are somewhere in between. We're somewhere around whatever billion years, and somehow 1 million years ago, Earth was formed, and down the line, we were, we came about. We started being. We started living, and somehow I am here now. This person, and I get to experience and shit. I get to live. I get to love. I get to truly see things. I get to choose things. I get to live this life. Not only get to, but just acknowledging the absurdity, acknowledging mm, the miraculous aspect of everything that we experience. Some things that you just ignore. Some things you never really pay attention to, but you know you get to just be, despite all the odds, by the way, despite everything that was against us as a species, as a planet, as a universe, not as a universe, but Like everything, all the mass extinctions, all the natural disasters, all the calamities we broke through, and somehow I get to live in this age, in this really absurd age, by the way, 2020, 2020s. Wow, like, really don't think I would acknowledge this on a regular basis, but thank God I did today. Like, I get to see this, I get to see my hands, I get to do things, like, I get to go outside and see nature in what it is. I get to see my parents, I get to see my family, I get to see people I love, and I get to see each other. That is crazy, I think. I get to experience this, whatever this is. I think that's pretty cool. The other that I've been on about, the other that I've been on about was actually around the idea of meaning creation, right? So, what is meaning creation? It's like, okay, on the first point, life does not have an inherent meaning. Life, you don't know anything, you don't know why, but you are here, right? You are here. You should be happy that you are here, by the way. But it's like I am here, but so like, what is my purpose? Why am I here? What is my meaning? Why? 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 So it's like, how do you answer that? And on the basis of it all, I, there is no answer to it. There is no answer. Whatever you prescribe, whatever uh, you know, answer you give it, won't be the truth. Because you don't know why on a fundamental level of the universe. The universe is as fundamental as you can get on the big scale, and yeah, so you don't know why the universe exists. Hence, you don't know why you exist. Okay, so you can say on a lower scale, you might be able to say that you are here to survive, you're here to reproduce. That's on a lower scale, by the way. You know, that's like going two levels down of the fundamental, which is why is the universe here in the first place? Which obviously, right? So you don't get a meaning. Okay, you might get a biological meaning that can be, what I just stated, which can be survival or reproduction, but that is a biological meaning. That um that is not meaning, by the way. That is just instinct. That's what you get born with. That's what you're born with, right? So point being that meaning then it just becomes something that you make for yourself, something that you're not provided with by birth, something that is empty for you as you're born, right? And that is just the way it is, by by our knowledge of why anything exists. That is just lack of knowledge, and we have got to cope with it for the time being, right? So that's us coping with lack of knowledge. So what do we do about it? We create meanings by ourselves. We get a blank canvas with this inherent composition of knowledge that we have, and yeah, we can like create anything on it, right? We can. paint the canvas however we want to, however we want to. And that is a beautiful thing, honestly, because that also resonates with the fact that you can have a canvas right now in front of you and you can do whatever you want with it. Like art is a very good activity if you might do it someday. That you just can take a canvas and do whatever with it. And that choice is up to you, you know? And you can also like change. You have infinite canvases, by the way. Not infinite because time is finite, but you get a stack of infinite. Everyone gets a stack of infinite canvases, and you can do whatever you want. What you can draw in whatever you want with it. Honestly, that is pretty beautiful. So basically, what it means is you just get to create your own meaning. You are not born with it. You're not prescribed a meaning when you're born or when the universe was created. You just here and you get to create that. You get to live your meaning. By the way, living is living your meaning is the main point here. Because what does each human have? What do I have here? What do I have inherently? What is everyone who is alive given inherently, right? Everyone that lives, everyone that is alive, what are they given inherently? They're given a present moment. When I was born, each present moment has been given to me. Right now, all I have is this moment right here, right? The one watching, maybe you. You are also given a meaning. Not so, you are also given a present moment that you're watching that you're watching this, you're hearing this. So that is all we have basically. That is all we can ever have. Maybe. Maybe you can have more things, but you always will have this present moment. And you can treat your present moment as a paintbrush in itself. And paint is whatever you want. Maybe. Maybe. The paintbrush is hmm, whatever. Another perspective on this specific thing is uh, there was an interview done on a tribe, and they were asked the meanings of their lives, and what they'd answered had primarily and mainly focused and revolved around food and survival and shelter. You know, like shelter, no, because they usually have shelter, but it revolved around fully food, right? And it's like, for example, a tribesman was asked why do you exist? And it was something answer was like to eat, to hunt and to eat. That is all their meaning is. That is all they know, by the way, you know. But, so what this means is this is like an epiphanic sort of realization, or maybe a epiphany in general, that their meanings are constructed around their knowledge of the world, right? So a tribesman, their meaning is revolving around what their knowledge of the world is. So the knowledge of the world is basically survival, right? Because that's what matters to them. Otherwise, that's just biological meaning in action, right? Survival. So their meaning comes from that, you know, and all they know is that survival. And because all they know is that, their life revolves around it. And that's all they care about, and that is okay, by the way, right? So it's like maybe say an echo chamber, I don't know. But this can apply to us as well, because um it applies to us as well because we don't know why the universe exists. So like if say a million years down the line, someone gets to understand the meaning of the why this all exists, and they'll look at us as primates. Like we look at them as primates for thinking that the moon is something like the moon is just light source that helps them to hunt at night or something. Maybe the sun is a god of meat or something, right? So we look at them as like they're stupid or something like that. We look at them as primates, as oblivious, right? But if you apply this to us, to someone who understands fully why this all exists, right? Maybe there is no why. That is okay as well. Maybe it just is. And that is such a weird conclusion. It just is. There is no reason to it, and that is, you can't accept that fact. You cannot. Anyway, so point being, that person who knows everything will look at us like we're primates. We are all making our own, all the philosophers, all the people thinking. They were all such goofers, they were all such goofs. Oh, so innocent. They will look at all us like goofs, like, what were they thinking, bro? Like, damn. They thought like they thought about Christianity, and many people believed it as a truth. Lord, maybe some people believed in some, say, nihilism, and they were depressed in some shit. Like, why were you depressed, bro? There is meaning, and you just didn't know it. And maybe someone down the line realizes that there is no meaning, and they'll be like, bro, there was no meaning, and why are you depressed about it? You know, there was no meaning in the first place, bro. Ah, whatever. I don't think I'm getting this concept quite right. This specific one, but whatever. Point being that we can be the primates in the meaning competition. We can surely be, well, you compare to someone in the future who understands someone, I don't know. So yeah, that was my second take, which was meaning is created. Meaning is not something you get. You can create. Like, creation is something that is so beautiful as well, because what is creation? Like art, say art can include dance, it can include drawing, it can include music, it can include what else? Anything that makes you and forces you to create. And that is beautiful as well because you get to produce something of your own, something that's unique to you and you only, you know? Because say if you paint, every stroke is as unique as it can ever get. Every stroke you make, like, it has only been done once, and that is by you. And if you get thousands of strokes on a painting, it's like a miracle what you've created. This video as well, like if you think about it, this video, it will never ever be replicated. And you know, this video as well, it's like it can be thought about in many ways, like preservation. Like this can be preserved for like what, thousands of years. I don't know how many years, you know, as long as the internet exists. And not like this will matter or anything, but just the fact that it can, you know, and that is also a beautiful thing. And another perspective we can take on this is like this is a creation of mine and totally mine. This isn't, this is a pure creation. W- Talking the thoughts that I speak out loud. Each thought, each word, each tone, each mouth movement, each body movement, each eyebrow movement, what the environment around me is, what the lighting is, what I'm wearing, what I look like, what my voice sounds like, what everything around me, the air I'm feeling on my face right now, the temperature around me, all that combines into something that is overwhelmingly me, overwhelming me, or overwhelmingly me. That is something that is just, it's me fully, and it cannot be any time. Um, if you were to create infinite universes, like infinite you can get, but like say a large amount, like a Google universes, but to the power 100 universes, you would really find this combination that I get, and that is cool, you know, that is something that you can be really happy, something that can truly create meaning. If you, this is like just one perspective, by the way, on creation. So there can be like thousands of way of thinking about this. Like this one was about the uniqueness of creation, right? And the and creation as in us as well. I've talked about this. Creation as in who you are and like how you came about in this world, how you were this, you know, pool of genes that came about out of this like whatever sperms, millions of sperms, out of like millions of billions and trillions of chances where humanity could have died, and trillions of chances that the earth would have been uninhabitable, that the system could have been uninhabitable, and like whatever, trillions over trillions of trillions over trillions over trillions of um, odds against you being here, you still are here, and that is beautiful. I think that is pretty beautiful. That is always gonna be beautiful. That is why you are beautiful. You are, and that is why I love you. That is why I love you. That is why. Anyway, I what was, I guess, my second perspective on this thing in general. Other than this, well, what was I on about? It was creation, right? It was meaning made through creation. So this can also have a creation aspect. And a creation, it has one perspective, which is the uniqueness of creation. Just the fact that whatever I thought about this. Anyway, because that was the second one that I really want to preserve, as in something that I always want to think about, always keep in my mind. Yeah. Yo. Yo. Oops.